Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, we're back at LockMeadow Entertainment Complex for some pigeon guano cleaning. We clean an aircraft hangar at Biggin Hill Airport and I go pumpkin picking. Let's roll the footage. Good morning, Team JCD. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend and welcome back to another episode of We Are JCD. Weekend was a good one. Back to it today. I am working from home this morning. I've actually been out already. What's the time now? The time is around 11:30, but don't panic. We have not been slacking. I went out this morning and carried out a drainage job, block sink. Seems to be a lot of them going around Sittingbourne at the moment, which is our main area of work. So I went and blocked it out. Usual blockage in that you find in sinks, scour, basically building up on the outer wall, but we cleared that for the guy. It took me around half hour, and then I got back here early and then popped back out, and now I am at home where I'm carrying out some admin work. What we got on this week? So we have just had permission to film Biggin Hill Airport, where we've been carrying out some post-construction cleans for a company that we've worked for a number of years. It's a bit sensitive there, to be honest, and we done one of the biggest warehouses we have ever cleaned previously. They've now got a slightly smaller one, which we're working on this week. They didn't let us film in the first one. I did ask, and it got knocked back by the company, which, you know, sometimes it does. I can't show you guys every single job because some of them are a little bit sensitive in terms of what goes on in these particular buildings. But the customer come back to me today, he said we can film in this one as long as we don't mention any customers or anything like that, which is good news. So I'm working at home today. Tomorrow I will be with Adam. We're going to film all of our dish in the dirts that we put back from last week. Also going to head over to Biggin Hill and film a standalone video of the work that we are doing over there. That will be good, and hopefully we'll give you guys an idea of the size of the one we done previously, even if we're not allowed to show you that particular project, which was a real shame. As I say, it was an absolute fantastic project and a massive aircraft hangar, two of them actually. Had an interesting email this morning about a tender, which seems promising. I won't mention too much because it's just an initial inquiry at the moment, but again, nice and local and would fit well within our portfolio of work. Wednesday, I'm going to be in the office. Sandeep, who is our office manager, has been away for 2 weeks. So I'm going to try and have a catch up with her face to face at JCD HQ and just go through some finance bits and pieces. And the rest of the week is relatively open at the moment. We've got some drainage bits and pieces in between that. I'll try and take you guys through with that. We've got a custom built CRM that we're going through at the moment, and I really need to take some time out of the day-to-day operation and try and get that implemented. You know, it's a full sign-off system for our one-off guys, our specialist guys that go out and about. So it manages everything end to end, and it's nearly ready to go. It manages all our quotes, and James from Digital Scientist has been helping us with that, and I really need to get that sort of fully implemented and moving along the line. So I'll have a catch up with Sandeep about that and start getting that going. We've got some other bits and pieces going on. We've just had the nod of a one-off deep clean in Canterbury, which I will try and film and probably do a standalone video for that one this week also. I looked at a job a couple of weeks ago for a sorting machine. We just had the nod on that as well, so we'll film that and do a standalone video. So it's picking up a little bit now. There's lots of bits and pieces that are a little bit more interesting that we'll try and film. As I say, I can show you the day-to-day stuff every day, but you know that might get a bit repetitive. So whenever there's one-off specialist stuff that is slightly different from maybe what you guys have seen before, just to demonstrate what we're capable of within the business and the type of work that we take on, I will certainly most show you. But today is an admin day, catching up. Friday, as you guys know, the keen viewers that watched us last week, we met with our local MP, Tracy Crouch. Very productive meeting, very nice lady, and a pleasure to meet her. We discussed all things cleaning, recruitment, the all-parliamentary group, etc., and the lack of traction that seems to be gaining. I'll do a standalone. I'm going to do a total standalone video on my thoughts on how that meeting went and what we will likely get out of the local government. I mean, the UK government is in array at the moment. They're just going for their third leader, so it's all over the place at the moment. And my honest opinion is that we, the industry, I think we missed the boat. I think we didn't put our foot down enough during the pandemic and post-pandemic. Immediately post-pandemic, you know, we're a year on now, and we're trying to gain traction for something that happened, you know, 12 months ago plus. My general feeling is, you know, I think we missed the boat, which is a real. If there was ever a time our industry was going to be front and center and us gain some real traction and getting some recognition for our industry, it was then. And I think we've just let it run. I think we've let it run too far, if I'm honest. But I'll do a standalone video on that one. We'll put some footage in. Adam might put some pictures in here of me meeting with Tracy. But that was a productive use of the afternoon. So yeah, that's going to wrap up Monday, guys. I'm going to get on with some bits and pieces that I need to. And then I will catch you the rest of this week, where we have got loads of stuff going on for you guys. I'll catch you in the morning. Good morning, team JCD. Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday today. Tuesday. Tuesday morning. We are back down at LockMeadow. For those of you that are keen viewers, and as I say always, this should be all of you by now. We've done this job a couple of weeks ago now. Contractors come back down, and there was a certain area, small, I mean the tiniest patch. It's a real inconvenience, to be honest. Oh, we can't go over there because there's still some bird droppings there. Nightmare. So we'll come back down. We're down here this morning. Me and Catlin are down here, loaded everything up, blocked off the path, and he is up on the roof doing that 5 minutes worth of work. It took us half hour, 40 minutes to set the job up, and for 5 minutes work, but client needs it done. You know, it's a bit of a added value thing, not going to recharge them a visit. So he's up there doing that. I have got a rammed packed day with drainage jobs, so I'm trying to put them all into one day. I've got a big day of filming tomorrow with Adam all day. We're going to do a couple of standalone videos. We've got some dishing the dirts that we do as well, and I will probably meet up with him later because I want to do an update video about how our meeting went with Tracy Crouch on Friday. So Catlin's up there, I'm down here keeping an eye on things. So we'll get this job done, and then we will move on to the next. Yeah.
We're gonna go and look under there. It's still
Yeah, but they ain't gonna get under there, are they?
I think they're gonna go literally right in there. I just literally been a little bit of there. I get there.
Yeah.
There's probably they're gonna have to work on this hatch, so they'll probably have to stay in there. So I've done that one. I've done this side as well.
Yeah.
Then the top.
But like when I come up here this morning, there's fucking pigeons everywhere up here
I
again.
know. You've seen the floor. We're standing, man. Look, the rubbish is still there. If they don't do anything, that's what I said. Actually, that is coming now. It's actually better.
Yeah.
You'll see it, but I reckon by tomorrow it'll be back.
So we have now finished up on the roof. The customer has come up and given the job the okay. As I think I mentioned when we've done the standalone video on this one, contractors can be, no disrespect to anyone, but especially if they're employed, you know, no interest or no bother to them if they don't do the job. So some people, it's like when you get a BT engineer, you know, they'll look for any excuse, most of them, not to do a job. Oh, it's a two-man job. Oh, it needs this, it needs that. So the customer has come up, he's okayed where it is, so we won't be coming back here unless there's a charge to it. It didn't take long to do, don't get me wrong. We've got a bit of a relationship with this customer, so no real hardship, but just a bit of an inconvenience trying to fit it in what is a busy week. So Catlin is downstairs putting all the kit away. I am going to go down the various ladders that I've got to get down to get off this roof, and then we are heading over to a construction site that we've been to before, where we had a blocked cable ducting. Apparently they've got another issue at this site, so we're going to head over there and put a camera down there and see what we can see down there for our customer. So that's the roof done. Let's go to the next one. We have just finished over at Rhythm Docks, which is a customer we've been to before. This is quite an important area, so I don't film while I'm carrying out the camera work because it's a sensitive site. But effectively, I'm going to spin you guys around. We have a ducting hole here, which goes over in that far corner over there. And what they effectively do is they pull cables through and they put a rope through like this over here, as you can see. There's a rope they put through, and that enables them to pull cables through. Unfortunately for these guys, this is the second time I've been to site, and this duct, when they've been pulling cables through, the collar has come loose, and where it's been pulled through with a lot of force, it's actually broke and crushed in on itself. So another dig repair for these guys. Unfortunately, they have a team on site, so it's not something that we're going to be doing, but nice and local to the office, and they're a good bunch of guys here. So that wraps up this job. I have got another quick survey to go and do, and then I am going to meet Adam at HQ, where I'm going to put down a couple of videos down there. So we're going to jump back in the van and head round the corner for our next survey. We have just arrived at our third job of the day. Again, we have been to this job several times. The customer is making a truck stop at this particular site. We've emptied the tank here twice now. We've done some surveying. So I'm here. He's just asked me to trace where this particular drain goes. I believe it's a storm drain, and I would suspect it runs to a soak hole. But we'll put the camera down there for the customer and see where it goes. I have just finished with Adam at HQ. We managed to put down a couple of episodes of our Dish in the Dirt, a couple of episodes for our social content that I had to get down before tomorrow. One of them took about 3,000 takes to do. So that was a bit of a pain in the backside, but we got it done in the end, and we're meeting up tomorrow where I'm going to spend all day with him tomorrow, putting down some just standard social content, not so much long format like this. So we'll put that down tomorrow, and we're also doing a standalone video that we on a project we are doing in Biggin Hill tomorrow. I've got a couple of surveys to do. They are both in Maidstone. I've just arrived at my first one, so we're going to get the camera out, survey down. This is for pest control, so just making sure that there's no access or egress for any pests. Regular customer of ours, and I've got two to do in Maidstone, so yeah, shouldn't take us too long. So let's get the camera out, and then we will put it down the line and see what we can see. One, which is under this greenery. 2, 3, and a 4th. Let's fill out the paperwork, and then we will get going. So I have just finished surveying that job, 4 manholes, 1 storm, 3 foul. One of the lines has got a fracture in the top. In the draining industry, we usually use a clock reference, so between 9 and 11 on a clock. there is a, well, it appears to be a hole, to be honest. So we'll make some recommendations. Usually with stuff like this, if they say they're getting rats, we'll recommend some rat walls, which are a one-directional flap. So if a rat goes through it, it generally can't get back the other way. That's what we usually recommend for jobs like this. And then obviously a repair if there's any holes in the line, etc. The lady was telling me they've just built a new block of development, a new development block literally behind where they are. So when you disturb the ground, like especially like that, where you're doing foundations and things like that, then you know you're gonna disturb the local wildlife. Unfortunately, it's just that these two properties here seem to be getting the backlash of it. So we'll make the recommendations for a customer, and that wraps up this job. Let's get back in the van and head over to our last one of the day. So we've taken the short 7-minute drive, which is nice and local, which is ultra helpful, to another property just around the corner. There are 6 manors we've got to survey here. So there's a big block of flats, which is behind the van. So I'm just going to type out all the report details, and then we'll put the camera down there and see what we can find. Manor 1. 2. One down, 5 to go. And that is that one finished as well. Looking at the drain lines, especially the ones that go to the stack, I can't see any activity of pests, and I can't see any fractures or breaks within the drain line. So that's a good sign for the people that live in this block. But again, for the avoidance of doubt, we'll recommend some rat walls, mainly where it goes into the stack, because the other are stormwater drains, which connect to the roof, so they're not actually going anywhere on the internals. So we'll make some recommendations to the customer. And yeah, that wraps up a mixed bag of a day. As I mentioned to you guys, tomorrow, me and Adam together all day, we're gonna head over to Biggin Hill to do a standalone video over there and see what Roger and Kathleen are up to on that particular project. He sent me some pictures today. Looks an interesting one. They've got some offices that they're doing over there as well as a warehouse. So we'll take you guys over there and show you around that one, and then we're going to put down some shorter format content in the office. So that wraps up Tuesday, guys. As always, thanks for checking in, and I will see you in the morning. Is that all right? Yeah. We on? Yeah. We live? Yeah. Live. What's the day? It's Wednesday. So it's Wednesday morning. A little bit of a late start today. What's time? 20 to 11. We are over at Biggin Hill Airport for a long-term customer of ours that we have worked with before. We've actually done one of our biggest ever warehouses at this project. It was 2 aircraft hangars with a big office through the middle. It was massive. We were there for a couple of months. Probably the biggest we've ever done off the top of my head, if I remember right. Good project, went well. We've worked with this customer before. They are doing lots of work on this airport. There's lots of other contractors as well. They're building a hotel at the main entrance, so there's plenty going on here. So we've got a couple of guys that are working on this site the entire week. The client wants them here on a day rate regardless of what they're doing, so they're just basically pointing them in whatever direction for areas they want clean, just to make sure it's kept on top of. This project completes on Friday. Me and Adam are going to do a quick standalone video just to tell you guys what we're doing here and what's going on. The rest of the day, once we've finished here, we've got another job that's going on in Canterbury. I'll put some pictures on the screen because I know I've asked the guys to take some pictures. We're doing a Cafe Nero that's had a refurb recently, so we're doing some bits down there and we'll put some pictures on there. But the rest of the day after here, we're heading down to HQ to put some standalone content down. But let's jump inside and show you guys around what's going on this job. Just ask Paul. I just think it's just whatever he needs and wants. I'm not sure. So this must be for, I imagine this is like a terminal, if that makes sense. Right, so people will come in here before they go on the planes or fly somewhere. Toilets, offices. Yeah, it must be like an entrance. What about out there, that way? Fucking hell, I'm surprised they ain't had they'll just stop oil here, fucking gluing themselves to everything. About the amount of planes they got here. Them ones are nice though. One day, when someone buys JCD off me for £10 billion, I might be able to afford it. Until then, we'll have to keep doing videos. I hope we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Right, let's do an intro. Today we're at Biggin Hill Airport for a continuation of one of our largest ever projects. And again, take two.
What do you reckon, private jet or helicopter?
I'd go with a jet, I reckon. But mind you, I suppose a helicopter's more, useful in the UK. But if you're doing long distance, I mean, just to get from the office at home, you'd probably have a helicopter, wouldn't you? To be fair, reminds me of the Wolf of Wall Street, though. You'd be taking it out with your friends when you've had a few beers and that. You'd probably end up in trouble. But yeah, we're a few contracts off that yet. So me and Adam have nearly finished putting down our episode 30 of the clean sweep. That will be out before this weekly episode, so make sure you guys go back and check out that video if you haven't, to see what works we're carrying out here. As I mentioned earlier on in the intro, this particular customer we've worked with before. What have they got here? So they've got a newly refurbed office area where they've done an entire fit out that we're walking around at the moment. Lots of glass, as you would expect in a modern office, so the boys will have to tackle that. They've also got a large aircraft hangar, well, medium-sized aircraft hangar, where we're doing some floor work and some low-level cleaning there. And they've also got over the other side an office that they haven't done a returb to. They've just taken some walls down, made it a little bit open plan, and gave it a lick of paint. So not such an extensive clean over there. But make sure you go back and check out the full video. And then once we've wrapped up here, we're going to head back down to JCD HQ. So we finished up at Biggin Hill Airport. Adam's just been getting some B-roll for our standalone video. I've just taken a couple of business calls in between, real pain in the arse. One of them's about a customer that doesn't want to pay for a particular job. So that's been passed over to our debt collection partner as of today, and they will be responsible for any interest and late payment charges. It's real sad when it gets to a customer that size, that wants to then take the real mick. And I mean, and they are taking the real mick. They've offered us a payment of probably about 15% of the job value, which we delivered a lot more than that. But you do get these odd customers that do that. Just had a chat with Don about another tender we've got coming up. So plenty going on. We are going to head back down to JCD HQ now and put some standalone, shorter format dishing the dirts down that we put across our social channels, mainly on LinkedIn. So we're going to head back in the car now and get down to JCD HQ. McDonald's burger. I haven't done it though. We live?
Yep.
Don't show the wife. All the kids. Me and Adam have just got back down to JCD HQ. We have had a little bit of lunch. Adam's told me he was hungry and that I had to put in a McDonald's. So whilst I was there, I obviously got myself something because that would be selfish not to. We're down back at HQ. We have been putting off, because of my schedule, for a couple of weeks now, putting down some shorter format content that we put out predominantly on LinkedIn, but we're going to start to put it out on my personal Instagram page. So we're going to film, I think we've got 4 episodes that we're going to put down today, and then that is going to wrap up the rest of today. I'm going to go back home and catch up on the day's emails because I have been out and about all day. So let's finish this burger, we'll get the lights on and get this content put down. So me and Adam have just put down a handful of our shorter format contents that we put out on our other social channels at last. It can be a little bit difficult to come up with ideas at times, but what we're trying to do is just use day-to-day business goings-ons, you know, stuff that we come across, and just note them down and put them across on camera, and hopefully you guys find that content a little bit informative and enjoyable. Tomorrow I have a couple of drainage bits to go out and do. Unfortunately, the van is getting some brakes on it today, so I've got a big survey at school tomorrow, and then Friday I am going around to visit some of our contracts that I haven't been to in a couple of weeks because we have been busy. And as you guys know, managing our contracts is number one importance to us at JCD, making sure our staff and our management are supported. So we've got to practice what we preach and make sure we make time to go out and do that. So I'll do that Friday. So that wraps up Wednesday, guys. And as always, I will catch you bright and early in the morning. Good morning, gang. No, we've got movement. I am down in Charing in Kent. I've got a short survey to do down here. I am at school. I've just met a client of ours, Andy, nice guy. I worked with him on a couple of occasions. We've worked with this company on several occasions. We're at a school in Charing. They have got some damp coming through one of the walls, and they believe it may be related to the drains. So they've asked me to come down here and put my magical camera into the drain line just to check that it's structurally sound. It shouldn't take long. It's only a short drain run, about 3 meters long, so it shouldn't take me more than an hour to do. Just got down here, the time is 8:30, and then I'm going to head to the office to catch up with some paperwork and do some process improvement stuff that I've been putting off for a while. We've got a custom built CRM that we need to get fully implemented. It puts all our staff data on it and everything like that, so I'm going to sort of be having a chat with Sandeep about that and getting that on the way. So yeah, not too much on the rest of the day, to be honest. The drainage van has got to go in for some breaks and for some other work, so I'll be meeting up with our other director, Don, and dropping the van off to the mechanic this morning so he can put some new brakes on it and give it a mini service, etc. So yeah, I will take you guys inside, show you around and see what the problem is with this one. Just going to take you guys inside and just show you what we are dealing with at this particular job. We've surveyed the drain lines, and it would appear that a contractor has already done 7 patches in this particular drain line. So let me just flip you guys around. So they're complaining of damp along this bottom wall, and behind that is the toilet areas. And they was wondering if it was drain related. So the drain, there's a manhole in the toilet that runs to that black manhole out here. Hopefully you can see that. So we've surveyed from this manhole here, and it literally runs, it's got 3 branches on the right hand side and 2 from the sink and this sink here, and it runs in a straight line directly through the wall to the manhole outside. I can't see nothing wrong with it. If it was me, rather than doing 7 patches, I would have opted to just line the whole thing, because then that just completely eradicates anything. But they've gone for patches on this particular occasion for some reason. There must have been a reason for it, I'm sure. So we'll give the customer some options, you know, maybe reline it all, but it's a little bit of a gamble because you never know if that is going to eradicate it. There is a well out the back here. I don't know if you can see that over there, probably not. There is a well in the corner over there. So it could have something to do with that, because the customer said that it is really periodic. It's not regular that it is damp in here. So it might be when there's a heavy downpour of rain or something along those lines, the well fills to a certain point and it runs underneath the school. That could be an option, but short of sort of some more invasive investigation works, it's not the drains, I would say. So we'll pass the report over to the customer, give them some pricing because they've asked for it, and we will go from there. So that wraps up this job, guys. I'm going to jump back in the van and head down to HQ. Good morning, team JCD. It's Friday. Yesterday I was with you guys at the survey job at the school, and then my battery ran out on my DJI and I did not have any cables with me, but luckily for you guys you didn't miss anything. I only went back to HQ. I've got a couple of bits and pieces going on back of house. We've got a client that we're dealing with that doesn't want to pay his bill, so we've got some legal proceedings going on with that, and some other bits and pieces I need to catch up on with Don and Sandeep because she has been away on holiday. It's Friday morning. I took the early part of the morning off to come and pick pumpkins with the children. Again, I mentioned in last week's video, does come with its pluses and minuses. But we've just finished up here now. It's around 10 o'clock. I am now going to head down to JCD HQ. I've got to jump in the tanker, and then I've got to head over to Kings Hill to do a job for a new customer of ours at the Watchfinder, because their car park keeps blocking up with water when it rains. So it's probably the rainwater gullies are blocked. So we'll take the tanker over there. We're working Sunday this week as well. To be honest with you, our guys do work weekends quite often. So I am on a large drainage job this weekend with Catlin. He's coming to give me a hand. That will be Sunday, so I'll film that one with you guys as well. So we just finished up the pumpkin picking. Let's head back to JCD HQ and get the tanker. We have just arrived back down at JCD HQ. So yesterday, after I see you guys, we went to do the survey at the school. I come back to JCD HQ and the DJI ran out and I didn't have a battery with me. To be honest with you, we've got one of the first gen DJIs and I am contemplating about upgrading, because for this one we have to have lots of add-ons, we have to plug lots of stuff in for the audio, where the newer ones they don't have to do that. So it's less reliant on me to remember several different bits of kit, which is probably best for all of us, so we can make sure our content is consistent. Yesterday was so we've done that, come back down to JCD HQ, and I've got an ongoing issue with a customer that doesn't feel they have a need to pay a bill, so that's gone to our legal counterparts. I mean, people think we are a small business at the end of the day, but people think that, oh well, they're a small business, they're not going to have legal, HR or whatever it may be, and we do. We have it all. So that it's quite easy for me to just back something like that over to our legal team, and then they'll deal with it for us. Subsequently, the customer has now reached out and wants me to go down there, and they want to have a little bit more of an amicable chat about them paying their bill. Crazy world we live in, but there you go. So I've just come down to, so apologies for the lack of footage yesterday, but don't worry, we have some bonus footage for you this week because me and Catlin are working Sunday, as I mentioned, at the pumpkin patch I was at this morning. So I've just come down to JCD HQ. I see the window cleaning van's out, which is good. I know they're finishing up on the project that me and Adam done a standalone video at Biggin Hill Airport. So I'm assuming the van is over there to do the externals. I've just jumped down here. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a new customer. they need a tanker for their car park, which keeps flooding. Now, usually when that happens, we're just sort of heading into winter. I believe the clocks go back this weekend. It's usually just the gully drains, the rainwater gully drains will be full of leaves and debris. So I'm going to take the tanker down there and clear that out. Sunday, I am back at DHM Plastics, which is a job that you see us do that pain in the backside pump on. We've got a tanker job over there where we just need to take out, I believe it's just general water. It's not foul or anything like that. We just got to take it from one location, pump it into another. But it's quite a big tank, so me and Catlin will be down there for the majority of the day on Sunday. So let's get the keys. I've got a coffee. We're going to jump in the tanker and then we're going to head over to Kings Hill and get this car park blockage free. Let's get over to Kings Hill. We have just arrived over at our location in Kings Hill. What the job we've got here is they've got some rainwater gullies that are pooling in at the moment in the car park, so they can't use certain areas of the car park, and that's because there's lots of leaves around here. It gets in the drains, and then the water struggles to flow away. He says it does go eventually, which it will, but look, this is one. So that's what they should look like, empty, and that is all the dirt. So it's quite easy to see why they get blocked up easy. All the leaves, you can see all the greenery behind me. So we'll carry on, we've got a few to do here, and we'll get these done and make sure that they're ready for the winter. So that job's a wrap. We've cleaned out. The guy actually just wanted us just to do one gully, which they're having a particular problem in the corner behind me over there. But to be honest with you, the price they were paying for us to be here just made no sense. I mean, it's pretty quick to clean out the gullies in our trusty old rear com. So we've done all the ones along the back wall there, where the main trees are. All the main ones at the front, as you see in front of me here, which seems to be the main ones because the fall comes that way to here. So we've done all them. I don't know if you guys can see in there, see if it focuses in. There are outlets there. You really want to be able to see the outlets on all of them. So we've showed the guy, he's just gone home now, which is fine. So we showed him everything, he's happy with what should be done. So all along here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably around 10 altogether. But they're all been clear now. It's only organic waste, you know, like leaves, mud from the fall, just debris and dirt really. So it's all been cleaned up, disposed of, and that wraps up this job. Just over an hour to clean the whole car park. So that's that one wrapped up, guys. That's it for the rest of the day. I'm going to head back home now. Well, I've got to take the tanker back down to HQ, put that back down there because it's too big to go on my drive. So I'll take it back down to HQ, and then I will pick up the other van, which has just had its brakes done, but that's ready to be collected. So we've got that, and then I say I've got an extra day for you this week. You guys will be pleased to know, because we are working Sunday on a tanker job all day. So I will, of course, I won't want you guys to miss out on a Sunday, so I'll take you along for that one. So that wraps up Friday, but we're not done, and I will see you Sunday morning. What is going on, team? We have made it to Sunday, and we have been to a job over in Lenham. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't film there because all day, literally, the time is, what's the time now? Let's check. The time is 1:05, and it has been hammering down with rain non-stop we were absolutely drenched doing this job. I've got some B-roll and I'll get Adam to put it on the screen here, but what effectively we had to do is we've got some catch pits for water, and it's only stormwater that's in there. We just had to vacuum them out with the tanker and put them in a drain so that they could be cleaned by this company, because the area needs to be cleaned down every year. We got there about 8:30, finished around 12 o'clock. I had to go down to the office to change the tanker back over, and it was a good day because the owner of this particular business was there, and I was obviously there with one of my guys, Catlin. We'd done it together, but I got talking to the guy. They do this all the time. They'd used a large tankering firm previously, but they weren't very helpful with these guys. Generally, they go there and they will put the hose in, let it suck the water out, and that's it. And they don't really go above and beyond in any shape or form. Where we just went a little bit further to just make sure they were fully cleaned out. We washed a couple of them down for them, helped them tidy up at the end, and that seemed to go a long way. So we had, I think it was 5 or 6 pits basically that we had to empty out. Yeah, so a productive morning. Obviously, never fun to be working on a Sunday, but needs must on this occasion. And I say, it was good to meet Leighton, the guy from this particular company, and hopefully we'll be able to work some more together on some other projects. So that does wrap up the week. Next week, I have got a busy week, a real eclectic one. So Monday, we are down at one of our contracts in the tanker again. That's getting its money's worth at the moment. We're down in one of our tankers. We need to empty some pits at one of our contracts where we do some pump maintenance. And then I have a large tender walk round, which I'm really looking forward to. This one come in organically from our website. Nice and local, another 6-figure opportunity per year. So we'll go and have a look at that and see what that entails. So that's tomorrow. So real mixed bag tomorrow. Tuesday, I am on a podcast with James Sinclair, who is an entrepreneur in the UK. So I've got a podcast with him in the morning on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're on a drainage job where we've got to do a large D-scale in the city. That's got to be done out of hours, so after 5:30. So that'll be an interesting one. Thursday, we have another tender walk round. Now, this one is confidential. I can't say too much about it, but it is in London and it is a well-known landmark within London. We're just having a look at it at the moment, helping them put together bits and pieces for the tender, look at some innovation, because obviously we've got some fantastic relationships with certain suppliers. So that's going to be ultra interesting as well. I'm really looking forward to that. And so next week should be a good week, to be honest. This week was a bit hit and miss with the filming, so apologies for that. Because on a couple of occasions I forgot to take mics and things like that. But like I always say to you guys, you know, I'm trying to document the journey, take you along with what we're doing. And sometimes, you know, I've actually got to do a business. I'm not one of these guys that, you know, pretends that I've got a business and sells you anything, courses or anything. I am actually growing and running 2 businesses. So, you know, sometimes that takes precedence over our YouTube stuff. But hopefully you find this week coming up ultra interesting because it's ultra diverse. So that wraps up the week. As always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for me, and we will catch you in next week's We Are JCD.